Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's see. Knock on the barn door. So, right there. Kick it down. Kick it down. Ain't squeaky, that's not good. Infested with rats. No one is home, and judging by the lack of furniture, they haven't been in some time. The gaunt scraps of vegetables on the floor suggest rats had taken up residence in their absence. Oh no! Speak with Diva. Practice the slow walk. Yep, early parts of the expansion. Welcome back, dear. What did the good-for-nothing caretaker have to say for himself? Gone? Has he left to join the rest of the hopefuls? Cape Town, outside Olimar. You don't have a clue what I'm talking about, do you? And there I was thinking you were another dreamer. Well, never mind all that. Take a seat wherever you are, like, dear. You've more than earned it. I'll even throw in another drink on the house. Ba 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 ba.
And how is business today, Mistress Theva?
Well, we know that voice.
Oh, frenetic. Look, I have a new customer.
Tis good to see you, my friend. The barley seeds you wanted. They should produce a better harvest than the last.
What, just like that? Oh, well, Fino, you really are a dear. Well, I'd best be tidying up some of those empty shacks before the pests move in. Keep an eye on the place while I'm out, eh?
It seems an age since last we spoke. Not since the prisoner exchange in Doma. And Yotsu. It has been even longer for me, of course, if you count the days I've spent here. But the time has only added to the relief I feel seeing you safe and well.
Me, I was more worried about you.
Huh. Alize said much the same thing. I don't think I've ever had such a scolding.
Fair.
But I believe an exchange of news is in order. Come, tell me of your arrival and all that came before. I see. Both the Exarch and Alize told me what they knew of events, but I had stubbornly clung on to the hope that all-out war might yet be avoidable. And poor Tataru. She must be sick with worry. We must endeavor to return as soon as we may. It would be nice to bring her good tidings for a change. But before we bid this world farewell, we must first ensure that it is not rejoined to the source. We must prevent the 8th Umbral calamity. Urianger's vision of the future has, I fear, every chance of coming true. By his description, the catalyst for the calamity was a formless and deadly weapon employed by the Garlean Empire. Which can only mean one thing. Black Rose. Gaius was telling you the truth. When we were on the trail of the Ascians, we saw evidence that the gas was being manufactured once more. Gaius was adamant that the project had been scrapped.
Huh?
So long as there are wars to be waged, there will always be those determined to win by any means. And thus simply destroying the existing stores of Black Rose would do little to alter fate's course. In that sense, our involuntary journey here to the First was something of a boon. Together with the Exarch, we've developed a theory as to how we believe the rejoining will be set in motion. I'm sure Urianger himself will cover the subject in more detail. But I can tell you the process requires that both worlds, the Source and the First, be facing an existential threat. One being Sin-Eaters, of course. They are a menace that I would dearly love to remove, and not just to avert a calamity. I may be a stranger to this world, but I will not stand idly by and let innocent people be slaughtered. That is what brought me to the gates of Yulmore. Ignoring its pretensions as a kind of capital city to what remains of the world, it is nonetheless a center of power and authority. If any solutions are to be found, I believe our search should begin there. What say you, old friend? Hungry for another adventure?
Always. Heck yeah.
And so we take to the road once more.
Assuming you have no objection, let's make our way directly to the city outskirts. If we time our arrival just right, you may be lucky enough to see why I have yet set foot in Elmore, despite my best efforts to do so. Come, from here we must head west and then cross a small bridge. Come. I want to fly like an eagle. Northwest. It's pretty far northwest and out of the way. Boing, 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 boing. Kusla seems peaceful, doesn't it? Does it not? Almost familiar, and a similar impression of the Castrium. Even in the distant world, people are much the same. To think that whenever a calamity struck the source, a reflection such as this one, with all its culture and history, was being erased from existence. No, get away from me. Over there. Quickly, someone's in trouble. Nah, they're fine. They're fine. Gee, I wonder who's that thing I gotta attack. Oh, thank the face. Yeah, look out! You saved me! My poor heart. Thank you, young sir. Ah, there you are. In my haste, I lost my bearings. How do you lose your bearings from there? But I see you have the situation well in hand. Fine work. Are you alright, madam? Just a few bruises from where I fell, nothing compared to what was in store for me before this brave soul came to my rescue. Honestly thought I was done for. My feet are not as swift as they once were, and I knew there was now one left to hear me scream. Not that I let them stop me. I should probably leave my old house behind and queue up outside Elmore with the rest of them. That those fancy lords and ladies would welcome a crone like me, but still, even a shack near the gate has to be safer than staying here. One would hope. Either way, I suggest you avoid wandering alone, lest you make the Sin Eater's task any easier. Thank you again, you saved my night. Now, I am sure a strapping lad like you has little to fear, but I won't linger long in this place. There is naught to be had here but cobwebs and memories. Just as the lady says, many of these parts have abandoned their homes to live in Elmore's shadow. Should the Sin Eaters descend upon this region, there are precious few with the strength to fight them off. Speaking of which, what have you been told of these monsters? Ah yes, at least would be qualified to speak on this subject. Ah. Still, we have won a small victory this time, at least. Now shall we press on? We need to return where the road forks and follow the paths at least west.
That gate up ahead is known as the Open Arms, and Yulmore itself lies beyond. This, meanwhile, is the aptly named Gate Town, the dwelling place of the many desperate souls who hope to be chosen to live in the city proper.
Ah, I thought I recognized you. Brought a new friend, eh? I'll bet you got a trick or two up your sleeve. Maybe even 3. Care to show me?
He's not here to compete. Leave him be.
What? I was only making conversation.
You'd have no shot against me anyways, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please! Greetings to our hopeful petitioners, one and all! Yulmore extends its warmest regards. Let it be known that a lady of distinction wishes to dine on fish divine. We seek a master culinarian who can guarantee seafood perfection. Dazzle the matron with your delicious dishes, and life in the city will be yours to enjoy, even on days when fish is not on the menu! Who among you will answer the call? Name yourself or another. We might not at all.
Fish, is it?
Was there anyone?
What about that girl?
Do you recall how I said Yulmore was a center of power and authority? Well, that is not the only reason for its fame. It is also known as the City of Final Pleasures. The noble and the wealthy who survived the flood gathered here to live out the rest of their days in decadent abandon. A poor man could sooner pass through the Iron Needle than Yulmore's gates. The only way the common folk can enter this perverted paradise is if they fulfill the whim of one of the privileged. And so they are picked over like market produce.
What a catch! We'll not be throwing this one back. Having seen your all too obvious charms, we welcome you with open arms. Come, join us in the City of Splendor and live out your life in an ecstasy of endeavor. Oh, just look at those expectant faces. What could you possibly be waiting for? Well, what have we here? An extra share of meal to celebrate our newest resident! For you!
Ah, lost!
Enjoy!
Thank goodness.
Over here!
Meal is a foodstuff which Yulmore routinely doles out to the people of Gate Town, and apparently a staple for its citizens as well. Many here rely on it to survive in these times of scarcity, yet the whole arrangement just seems... well,
Fishy?
let's just say it leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
you understand why my attempts to enter the city have thus far come to naught. The devilish privilege of residency must be won via contest with ever-changing rules. They say this policy has been in place for the past 2 decades, ever since Eleanor's current ruler came into power. Yet from what I've seen, it is more harm than good. Not only does it distract people from a shared struggle against the Sin Eaters, it robs them of their self-sufficiency. I have tried to propose ways that could improve the lot, but most invariably fall on deaf ears. The attitude is so enchanted. Now that I worry that, well, mayhap you should take a turn around Gate Town and judge the situation for yourself. Still here, you can't blame me for wanting a slice of Olimer's pie. If you ask me, you should ditch that sour-faced brat and make a home for yourself here. Gate Town's not much to look at, but at least it's safe, and the mole is the best thing I've ever tasted. Cause you're a sucker. Pot bubbles over the flame. Pale chunks of mole, you realize, floated in the otherwise plain broth. Okay, can you find a more beautiful city? Every day I dream of a flight that waits for me inside those walls. Oh, will they ever pick me? Or not? I don't know if beautiful would be the word I would describe that city. That was weird. See what Gate Town has to offer? These people can no longer fend for themselves. They become dependent on Hannah's mole and believe Olimar is the answer to all of their woes. Yet, no matter how I frame my encouragement, they seem unwilling, nay, unable to conceive any other way of life. It's difficult to make final judgment without first seeing the city's inner workings. May have its uncertainty, which always makes me feel so ill at ease here. Not that it matters. However unjust the system seems to me, if these people claim to contest what their lot is, it is hardly my place to criticize their choices. But take that elderly lady you rescued. Does it not seem like those who have chosen to forego Olimar's authority are doomed to suffer for their independence? In the end, they are all but forced to seek refuge in Gate Town, and so hamlets and fields across the island are left empty and untended, hastening the region's descent into ruin. Yea, I am convinced that Olimar's generosity truly serves the best interests for Callisto's people. I am not so naive as to think there is some miraculous solution to all this. I cannot help but frown at the sight of hard-working villagers struggling to survive, even as I the chosen few rejoice at being plucked from the poverty by the hand of a capable, compassionate noble. There has to be a better way. I will not know for sure, however, until I have taken these long delayed steps into Olmore's gates. It is fortunate that you arrived when you did, Logan. I have been working on a scheme to institute myself into the city. If all goes to plan, it should soon come to fruition. There is a beach tribe who makes home in the seas surrounding the island. The Ondu, they are called, though you and I know them as Shagget. For the most part, they keep to themselves in the ocean grottos and rarely have dealings with land dwellers. But as the Taurus took such great pains to impress upon me during our stay in Kugang, business favors the bold, and so I reached out to them. I duly discovered that Ondu are inconsiderably fond of land-grown produce, fresh fruits in particular, and when I offered to produce such goods for them, they promised to pay me in pearls. Attractive business venture for any prosperous investor, would you not agree? Surely, even the most jaded yeoman lord would have time for a merchant who can make pearls from plums and pumpkins. Yes, I've come a long way since my days of buying samurai swords without first negotiating a price. My appointment with the Ondu is due to take place in a few hours. I just need to collect produce and meet them on the shore. May you help me make the exchange? Excellent. Should be glad of your company. First things first, then, we must pay a visit to Mosho Moa, my supplier in right. Come, it is just to the northwest of here. Definitely not that way. The Ents go marching. It's up there somewhere. Or the east. Must be up there. Yeah, it's up there somehow. I don't know how. Probably area I go to in a little bit or later, a little later. Is there something I can do for you, friend? Good day to you, Moshe Moa. This is my associate Logan. We are here to collect the produce I purchased. Huh? I let your lackey up with the goods not long ago. My lackey? I know no such person. Must still lad, short blue hair? No, he said he'd come on your behalf, and since you seem to know all the details, I just assumed. Confounded, someone must have been eavesdropping on our conversation. This Sheraton was he here not long ago? He cannot have gone far. We should split up and search the area. You find a vantage point to the south side of the town, and I shall take the west. Time for an ass whooping. Look, any sign of him? There. He's there. You have a keen eye. Let's move in before he makes it good for his escape.
There you are. The thief who claims the harvest on my behalf. Hand it over.
Well, forgive me. I have to get into the city. I have no family and all my friends have already been chosen. No one here gives a damn about me. When the meal gets handed out, I'm lucky if I get a smell of it. No matter what I do, they won't call out my name. I'm so tired, I'm so bloody hungry. I thought maybe I could steal your idea, get in that way.
What is your name?
Kai Shear.
Tell me then, Kai Shear. Must it be Yulmore or nothing? What of the Crystarium? They may not offer charity, but you would be fairly compensated for any work you did.
No, it has to be Yulmore. That's where all my friends are. We made a promise that we'd live together in paradise.
I was to make my deal with the Ondo at the Clave. Listen carefully, and I shall tell you my plans for the business, and how best to arouse the Yulmorans' interest.
You'll give me your place? Just like that?
I'm giving you a chance, nothing more. What comes of it is entirely up to you.
I understand. Oh, thank you, thank you!
This was but one path. There will be others. But for young Kai Shir, it was the difference between life and death. I do not regret my decision, yet I will admit that a part of me wonders if it was for the best. We strive to bring swift salvation to this world, that countless lives might be saved, not least your own. Even if it came at the cost of one man, should I have forged on regardless? I suppose not. Were Estinian here, he would most likely scoff at my soft-heartedness.
Same old Alfino, ever the slave to sentiment.
But I thank you for your kind words nonetheless. Let us see that both these stories have a happy ending. Shall we return to Wright then? Is that? I can't be sure, but I think someone's in trouble.
Someone's always in trouble.
Come on, they may need our help.
You're correct. Should take care of the worst of his injuries. Mercy, I beg you. Breathe easy, sir. No harm will come to you here. This poor man is shivering. Pray keep an eye on him while I get a fire going. The return of the dead. How am I ever repaying this kindness? We'll set for a tale behind your current predicament. Why don't you begin by telling us your name? Testel, I was invited into Olimar to work as an artist. A wealthy couple took me in to paint pictures for them, but when my style proved contrary to their taste, they just as quickly turfed me out onto the street. I was penniless and patroness, a grave sin in the Lord Very City. Within days they had brought me before the man himself, and he asked me what I meant to do. Dejected as I was, I told him that I wished to leave. Little did I know how soon he would grant me my wish. They flung me over the lassitude into the goddamn ocean. From up there? How are you not dashed into pieces? Don't ask me luck, I suppose. Though if you hadn't found me when you did, I wouldn't have counted for much. Monstrous. Insistence condone such barbaric punishment? But without a second thought, when Volturi passes judgment, no one so much as blinks, let alone argues. In Ulmer, his word is law. Take him down! The more I hear of Ulmer, the more determined I see what waits within its walls. I shall bend all thoughts towards securing another way into the city. There must be something we can do. But first we should convoy Terrestrial to the shelter of the village. Fire or no fire, he needs to be out of this chilly coastal air. A way into the city? Yep, that's exactly what he said. A way into the city. He didn't stutter. I accept my deepest gratitude. I owe you both my life, and if you permit me, I would assist you in attempt to enter Elmore, in so far as I'm able, at any rate. To be frank, the thought of sending my saviors into that awful place makes me sick to my stomach, but since it's plain you've set your minds on it, you should take this. My favorite paintbrush. The Ulmer elite are never satisfied until they get exactly what they want. And if I'm not mistaken, the couple I mentioned would be looking for someone to replace me. You make a show of owning such a useful brush, you may be able to convince people you are talented for painting. Are you certain? This is your livelihood. We cannot deprive you of such a treasured possession. I'll gladly give it after all you've done for me. Besides, I can't. I don't think I have the heart to paint anymore. As to what I'll do instead, I honestly haven't decided, but I shan't stay long in this place, not with that city boring me. Nay, I'll move on to new lands and a new profession. I'll keep my prayers from now until my dying days. They say kindness is its own reward, but Terrestrial has repaid us with the gift as timely as unexpected. We will, however, need to act upon his advice before another painter steps in to fill the vacancy. Thankfully, I do some modest skill with the brush. Nothing approaching that of a true artist, of course, but enough to pay the role I would hope. As for you, well, if you don't mind taking a subordinate role, maybe you could pose as my assistant? Need to clean my glasses real quick. Dirty, 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 dirty. Dirty, 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 dirty. Can't stand spots on my glasses. That's why I hate wearing them. I really don't understand how so much dirt gets on the glasses. Then so all we need to do now is return to Gate Town and wait for the next appearance of those vile jesters. Oh, there's some purples. Let's grab them purples. Excuse me. Well, since I'm in this area, let's do these purples real quick, and then we'll go back to the main story quest. Not what I meant to do. Well. Stone Gazer. Not gonna be what she. It's gonna be what I need to do. Yeah, I saw that one coming. There's gonna be a lot of back and forth, I can tell already. band. What was last? The point of today was to do the main story quests, not these quests. But since they're right here, and I need them done anyways, I figured I'd do them. Flower picking. I'm a freaking paladin, and I'm here picking flowers. One, two, and three. He believes she's the proper one for the mirror. That's what he's trying to teach her. Because she's willing to help people at whatever she can. Do 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 do. and probably never see them again. Well, you know. Alright, back to the main story quest. Which does mean go back to reading. Reading, reading, word, do 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 do. Brr, brr, brr. I see the village. The village people. There's the YMCA. Take me to the YMCA. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, your temperature once more. What a day it's been for the folks of our door. We've welcomed a peddler who made pearls from a plum, and now we've placed a partner of a plum. So come along and don't be slow. It's time to let your colors show. I can paint. Portraits at least. Landscapes and still lifes are so rarely commissioned these days. Oh, I thought I spied some new faces in the crowd. Unfortunate that you should feel at ease around an easel. Prove your own powers. Any masterpieces on your person? Sadly not. Everything I paint is soon sold. Such is the life of a working artist. I have only my brush to testify for me, though you will note that it has seen no small amount of service. Oh, flecks of paint, both old and new, a tool much loved and much used. Not a prop to be conjured on the hop. Very well, come with us. We'll put those talents to the test. Who is this hanger-on? Well-wisher or parasite? Why, this is my assistant. He who on following support allows the art to flourish. I will go with him, or not at all. Parasite, then. We shall leave his fate in the hands of your new employer. It matters not a whit to us. And having filled our latest fate in space, we retire to Elmore's sweet embrace. It's a kick ad, Naina. Oh, mercy me, we almost took our leave without leaving a lovely token. We must empty the sacks ere we must make our way back.
Redemption is beyond us. The lament of all but saints and fools, and the comfort of the lords and ladies of this accursed place. Once they held fast against the madness, only to embrace the coming cataclysm and delight in the end of days. Perhaps in rapture they seek to lose themselves and the misery they share. Or perhaps for them alone, the promise of eternal pleasure really does hold true.
Welcome to the city of final pleasures. Feel free to weep at its magnificence. No, not even a single tear? Moving right along then. No, getting hideous. Our first task is to register you as residents. You know, make it all nice and official. We'll smooth the way, so you'll just need to put on your happy faces and head through the joyous hall. The Bureau of Immigration is on the first room on the left side of the passage. Declare your name and occupation in a nice loud voice. The clerks will tell you where to go from there. Oh, and pay no mind to those folk off to the side of the road. Much like the hostels in Gate Town, they haven't earned the right to enter the city prosper. If, however, you enjoy basking in the envy of your fellow man, then by all means take your time. But why waste another moment? Go, enjoy the beginning of your new life in paradise. Bureau of Immigration, was it? I suppose we better show ourselves willing for the time being. Welcome to Elmore, fortunate friends. May I have your names? An Alvin, an artist, and this Logan, my assistant. Ah yes, I was for your immediate arrival. We can forego the usual interview and begin processing registration papers forthwith. Now the citizens of Ulmer are divided into two classes. There are the free, who are blessed with the favor of Lord Varson, and the bonded, who work in the employ of the free. You will be joining the ranks of the bonded. Your duties are to serve a patron in the capacity for which you were chosen. In your case, painting pretty pictures. Should your patron dismiss you for any reason, you must find another sponsor among the free or set to work as a general laborer. See, and might you tell us something of the patron we are to serve? Two patrons, actually. Chai Nuz and Dai Chai, a mystical couple whom most refer to as the Chayas. They're both gentle souls, but I would ask that you conduct yourself with respect and humility, for your own sake as much as theirs. Now, a moment please, while I complete the relevant paperwork. All in order. These are your registration documents. Take those papers next door and submit them to the clerk. Once they've been stamped, you'll officially be an Ulmer citizen. Enjoy your new life in paradise. Welcome to the Borough of Resurrection. Papers, please. What have we here? Alphanode artist, Logan artist assistant, to be employed and serves as Lord Chai Nuz and Lady Dula Chai. Yes, everything's to be in order. Your registration is hereby approved. I think it's best that we deliver you to the Chai residence before. Oh dear. You smell hideous. Did you crawl through a ditch? It is like an unholy mess of dust and sweat and must of some unwashed beast. Proceed direct to the laboratory next door and scrub yourselves clean. Use whatever showers are free. After you rinse away the stench, you'll want to splash yourselves with this perfume. Liberty. Once you make yourself presentable, then you may proceed to the Chai residence. Cornelius, the guard by the stairs, will give you directions. Well, that's kind of rude. I didn't realize that we were so aromatic. Well, you showered and dressed already, have you? It is not that is to say, it seems rather exposed for one's ablutions, does it not? Good gods, he mentioned nothing. You will mention this, nothing to swear to me. Well, that was bracing. I believe the lingering smells of the road have been successfully expunged. Shall we go and present ourselves to our new patrons then? You're looking to present yourselves to the Caius, are you? Let me explain how the city is laid out then. Imagine 3 layers, one on top of the other. The layer here is the buttress. Above us is the understory, where the military has its headquarters. Above that, you get the canopy, which is where the free citizens all over spend their days. This layer here is called the... Oh, alright. So if you want to find your new patrons, you'll need to keep climbing until you run out of stairs. Then look for the Grand Dane's parlor. They'll be in there, like as not. grab that as we're here. Maybe. There it is. Lame. Lame.
Oh, who's this then?
Lord and Lady Chai, pray forgive our intrusion. I am given to understand you were in search of an artist.
Ah, you must be the new,
Oh, goodness me! What an adorable boy! That silken hair, those pearly cheeks, oh, and you even smell wonderful, like a bed of flowers. I approve of this one, dearest. I am positive he'll paint us the most delightful pictures.
Yes. Well, as long as he paints better than that talentless wretch we sent packing last week.
Wonderful, wonderful. Welcome to Yulmore.
Alphino, if it please you, my lady. And this is my assistant.
Your assistant? I've heard of folk bringing in family members, but this seems a bit irregular. Aren't you a little young to have a protege?
We are family in all but name, my lord. Though we share no blood, we have stood by each other through life's many challenges, resolved to prevail together or not at all. Of all people, 'tis he who best understands my work. With his unique insight guiding my hand, the art I create is sure to satisfy your expectations. Once the picture has begun, of course, I shall have no need of constant encouragement. And so I wondered, rather than him being in your way, might it then be permissible for my assistant to explore the city he has so longed to see? Out of gratitude for his priceless contribution to my art, I thought it only fair that I make this humble request on his behalf.
Did you ever hear of such devotion? Of course your assistant must have his wish. He shall be free to roam to his heart's content. Isn't that right, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course, dearest. Quite right.
Now you've had an opportunity to experience it a little more. I suggest you make the most of it. Explore the city top to bottom. In other words, I would start at the canopy and go from there. Try wandering around the market stalls we have. Such places are usually filled with colorful characters, only too eager to share local gossips with a friendly visitor. I would appreciate it, of course, if you could share my discoveries with me in turn. We should both learn as much as possible about our new place of residence. Oh, hello there. A fresh register, are we? You seem a little lost. Well, this lovely to make your acquaintance. Speaking of acquaintances, you wouldn't happen to have a run to my attendant on your wanderings, would you? Big, strong, long hair tied back. He escorted me on a shopping errand when I realized I dropped my handkerchief, and now he's been waiting here all alone while he's been off searching for it. I'm not terribly fond of being alone. If you do see him, I would be obliged if you could pass on this message. Get the silly handkerchief and return to my side at once. Bitch, we ain't your slaves. We kinda are, but that's besides the point. Well, how the heck did he manage that one? Wicked White, that was too close. Thank you for that. I don't know what I've done if you hadn't come along. I was trying to rescue my lady's handkerchief, you see. The wind was blowing it over the edge. But luckily it caught on something. I thought if I could just stretch out far enough. She is my entire world. Without her, I am nothing. When I first got onward, I thought only of improving my lot in life. But there was so much more to this city than the wealth and plenty. There is no war here, no conflict. The residents all treat each other with warmth and respect. My new mistress has been ever so kind to me, and I can think of no other place in the Clusa where I could possibly be happier. Sorry, I must have gotten a little bit carried away. I find it hard to stop and start counting my blessings these days. Please, you should come with me and meet my lady. When she hears of your deed, you'll be witness to your grand generosity firsthand. What? Lonely, you say? Curse my clumsy feet. I must return to her immediately. Yeah, she's gonna whoop you. Good old whooping. My attendant told me everything. I'm so grateful you were there to offer your assistance. As if I remember my own family, I cannot live with the wonderful life I lead without him. We free citizens owe the bonding of our unendearing gratitude. Map and another society, our different standings would breed prejudice and resentment, but in Ulmer, the most glorious measure is in place of avarice such as unpleasantness. Part of that measure requires that the free surrender their fortunes. Upon registration, all of our property, financial, intellectual, and or otherwise, is given over to the city. In exchange, we are provided with ample funds and commodities to live a life of pampered luxury. Being liberated from the concern of earning coin has almost miraculous effect on people's outlook. There are no rivals to compete against, only fellow residents with whom to enjoy our tranquil existence. Now, if you excuse us, I must see that the markets have to offer as a reward for your return from my handkerchief. Oh, I've not forgotten you, of course, our courageous messenger turned rescuer. this talk of relying on my bonded, I am giving a thought as to what your duties might be. I hope I haven't interrupted your work unduly. A tour of the city, is it? Then you must visit Beehive, as always buzzing with activity. Local humor. Anyway, a lady by the name of Tessa Buyout usually has her seat near the entrance. She'll gladly speak with you on any number of topics, assuming you find yourself on her good side. Buzz, buzz. Bzzz. Ba, 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 da, da. I'm gonna go in there and go buzz. Welcome to the Beehive, my little drone. Seeking the sting of excitement to liven up your day? I can tell at a glance when the folk are new to our happy colony. It's a nervous fluttering, you see, always gives them away. Why don't we play some cards to set you at ease? A quick game of high or low. It's only a matter of guessing who has the bigger hand. If you want, I'll grant you a single favor. Within reason, of course. Interested? Oh, sure. Ready for the game of high-low, then? Good for you. No time like the present, I say. Chip, chip, cheerio. 3 cards for you, 3 cards for me. You flip one of yours over it, and I flip 2 of mine. Low. I mean, we can start off with 9 and then another ace of 17. Let's play. I mean, the math says it can, I'm likely to be higher. We'll say hi. Two. Come, what's Maria then? And don't be shy. Tell old Testa what she can do for you. That's all how delightfully wholesome. But if knowledge is what you want, then that is what ye shall have. In my humble estimation, the most wondrous thing about this town is how safe we are from the Sin Eaters. So Lord Verdre was born with the power to command them, which means no Olymrian needs ever raise a weapon in defense of the city. Was that the kind of thing you wish to know? If your itch still needs scratching, you might get a few words out of Arthur over there. There's not that Mary Sott likes more than the sound of his own voice. Dude, the main guy's totally one of those Sin Eaters. He's one of the big ones. What's up? New to Omar, you say? I only just read an RA looking to peel away from the layers of mystery. Oh, I'm all chatting, but you need to slow down and enjoy life, my friend. I'll tell you what, you hop on stage and give us a dance first, and then we shall have a little talk. Really? This is dumb. I'll do the Manderville dance. Screw this dance. That was a show. You're welcome to clamor up on stage anytime you like. So, what was you wanting to ask me? Ah, yes, something about our fair city. Well, I can tell you it wasn't always so peaceful as it is today. The Larian army may be the very essence of military might, but even our forces saw grievous losses in the war against the Sin Eaters. Things changed for us, around 20 years ago now, when the old ruler's son came to power. Got this way with the Eaters, you see. Turns them docile, house cats. I wouldn't be exaggerating to say that it becomes something of an ally to Elmore, no longer aiming to be feared. And yet elsewhere there are still fools who insist on fighting on losing battles. Pah! A toast to Lord Volturi. This dude is a Sin Eater, I'm telling you. Oh, you're turning for your jaunt around the city so soon? You have to hurry back. Young Alpha has yet to put brush to canvas. One cannot rush good art, I'm told, or good artists apparently. Ah, finally. Put together a symbol out of the garments you chose. Is this satisfactory? Oh goodness gracious me, that last outfit was precious, but this makes you look positively dashing. You're a truly handsome boy, however I am to decide. Exactly, the lad is an artist, dearest, not a dress-up doll. It's about time we set him to work for the reason we called him here. Well, sweet, I do love good painting, but I thought since we were enjoying ourselves so thoroughly. Well, I'd not. This is to say, as long as you... just make sure to give the lad time to prepare. We know he'll be upset if he's not ready to paint at a moment's notice. What do you say, darling? So, shall we pick out some jewelry next? What? Do 79. It has a particular sense of beauty, and apparently that extends to how I should dress whilst painting. But this accession of hers works in our favor. The time I spend indulging these distractions is time that you can use to continue explorations. For this excursion, I'd like you to delve into the layer below us and sniff about the military headquarters. I'm sure the Unstory has its own tale to tell. The heck, the stairs. You're one of the bonded, aren't you? Like me? Please, I need your help. My throat, I can't sing anymore. I've been making excuses, but it's not getting better. If my patron thinks I am no use to him, then I need you to sneak out to the derelicts and describe my condition to the Tharch. Here's a list of symptoms and a hunk of mole to pay for his medicines. Please, I have nothing else to turn to. Oh, yeah. No, apparently I don't go that way. Such a lovely place here. Hey, you need medicines, tonics, potions? Cure for alien voice, is it? No medicine will cure this. Methinks your songbird has a lump in her throat. It was cut out, excised, and even then, the voice may never heal completely. Hee hee, poor little songbird. Will they kick her from the nest, I wonder, or simply silence her chirps? Oh, your face, you didn't know? Of the many hostiles who enter the city, very few are ever seen to leave, even as corpses. Oh, you might see one or two fortunate fools hurled from the balconies, but the rest gone. A tired nightmares it is. Now for the ship's rest. Oh, no. I'm content to scurry around down here and nibble on the crumbs which fall from the table. This constellation's over. You have my verdict, and I have my meal. Good day. He's a lovely guy. Did you get my medicine? So that's it. What am I to do if I can't sing? There you are, my sweet canary. Have you been crying again? Don't tell me your voice is still not on the mend. Oh, generous sir, have mercy. I've done all I can, but even the apostle said. So you've been suffering all this time? I'm sorry, my pet. I haven't realized your affection was this grave. But you never for it. I'll not reward your hours of trailing by casting you out into the street. You're too kind, sir. But what use am I if I cannot sing? I fear the day I become more of a burden to you than treasure. Then I shall have a word with Lord Varden and arrange for your ascension. In that paradise where resides neither pain nor illness will your song ring out clearly once again. Maybe you think it's a step too far? No, you would do that for me? Of course, I would almost wish to hasten my own ascensions, knowing your blessed instrument was waiting there to greet me. Oh, you must be new arrival. Allow me to explain. All I know is the sinners exist to devour the sinful, but also they serve to gather the souls of the innocent and shepherd them onto the celestial paradise. It is through Lord Vari that we learn this truth. It is through Lord Vari's grace that the free people of Omar are destined to embrace salvation. We are blessed to spend our days surrounded by love and merriment, until at last we are called our final rapture. Even the bonded may find a place within that host, should their patrons deem them worthy. Lord Vari truly is a great man, isn't he? No, he's not. Now if you excuse us, we must be on our way. May you find eternal salvation for the compassion you have shown my precious canary. No, he is a snake. Or a sin eater. Haha. Got it. But no, he's bad. He's real bad. That's right. It's good to see you back. You were taking so long and began to worry something had happened. I've been sketching an outline of the portrait, but nay, the child appear otherwise occupied. Will you share what your investigations had gleaned thus far? The Lord of Archie boasts some manner of influence over the sinners, does he? To explain the reverence in which he is held by the sinister. And as for this ascension business, I cannot help but be put in mind that this apothecary in his own meanings remarks, if so many folk have entered the city over the years, then where'd they go? I take my eyes off you for one moment and you're chatting away with that assistant of yours. Am I assuming the outline is done then? What in the blazes? It is so unflattering. Explain yourself, Alphanode. Where's your architecture interpretation? It should invoke images of influence and nobility and overwhelm the viewer with its boundless beauty. Rachai, you stated that this portrait was to commemorate your anniversary. Yours being joyous union. It seemed to me that a realistic portrayal. Realistic? I don't want realism, I want perfection. A spectacle to slacken jaws and weaken knees to make people cry out in amazement. Now fetch a blink gamer saying, Ugh. I say, did that come from above? Yes, it did. Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please. A tale to make you quiver and your noble blood freeze. There was a villain on the loose, set to ruin our fair city. But our Lord has got him now, and his fate will not be pretty. Yes, the hammer of justice is poised to come crashing down, and one and all who watch it fall are invited to join his lordship in the offer. Malcontent? How dreadful. Is this man to face sentencing? That's right. In fact, if you're curious, it might be worth you going along for the experience. The offer they mentioned is part of the emergent, the level above us where Lord Verchins resides. Ordinarily, you would be barred from entering, but it seems they'll be opening its doors for the next little while. The crown lift will take you up there. We had better not dawdle then. Doing the crown up there? Yep. Let's do it. God, I want a blanket. It's kind of cold in here.
That's him. That's Vorthri.
He's bigger than a whale.
He's attended by sin eaters. But how does he keep them from attacking?
Mercy! Mercy!
By the 12. Kaishia, what happened to you?
Who are these impudent louts? I do not recall requesting their presence.
Lord Vorthri, what is the meaning of this? Why is this poor man bleeding to death on your floor?
Why? You ask me why? Because criminals must be punished. And this man is guilty of fraud. He came to us, claiming to be a man of business. Yet his subsequent conduct has shown him to be anything but. Muir is a city built on love for one's fellow man. Those who have naught to give and live only to take are a blight upon our society! To atone for this crime, I ordered that he fling himself from the balcony. And he had the temerity to weep. Please, my lord, anything but that. What then is a man of mercy to do? But offer the sinner another way to show his contrition.
Another way? Meaning what exactly?
Sin Eaters are part of Yulmore's society, but they must be fed with ether. Living ether. So, I demanded an offering of flesh, carved by his own hand, from his own hide. And still, he could not do as I asked. A wholly unsatisfactory performance.
It is true that Kaishir won his place here by fraud, but his actions were driven only by a desire to share in your paradise. That you would cast him out, I could almost accept. But to humiliate him thus? To demand his very life? Is this truly the way of Yulmore?
Oh, you dim, deluded child. Have you ever paused to consider what it takes to maintain such a paradise in this barren, broken world of ours? The guarantee of safety and stability. The knowledge that if one only abides by the rules, one has naught to fear. I alone can offer these things, for I alone can command the Sin Eaters. And thus am I alone the voice of justice, and any who oppose me, villains to be punished.
And people call this paradise.
You were granted a place in my city for a particular skill. What was it?
Painting.
Oh, an artiste! Then you shall paint a picture for me of Yulmore. If I find your art pleasing, then I may excuse this display of insolence. Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could. Can you walk?
I think so.
Did that little worm just insult me? I'll kill them! I'll kill them all! I'll enslave their minds! I'll torment them! Torture them! Then tear out their hearts!
Forgive me. In my anger, I seem to have marched us back outside again, though it's probably best we leave the island altogether. I believe we warned our welcome in Olimar. In any case, I've seen enough of the world's self-proclaimed capital city to convince me that our Baldistanians will find few allies in Kolshal. I will accompany you back to the Crystarium. We need to regroup and think on our strategy anew. Cashier, I have done you grave disservice. You are hungry and desperate, and offer you a solution without once considering the risks inherent in you accepting it. If I had but known the price you would be made to pay. You gave me everything I needed to make your idea work. It was me who made a mess of things, not you. But even after all the trouble I caused, you stepped in and saved me, and now Lord Varsley wants us all dead. When I come back to with us to the Castellarium, I'm certain we can find work for you there, if you are willing. No, that would be me leaning on kindness again. I need to do some thinking, learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. Very well, but you must promise me you'll be careful. The Olympians may yet come looking for us. I'll keep my head down, don't worry. And you take care too. Give me the chance to repay what you've done for me. Alvanode. Lord and Lady Chai. What in the blazes did you do? They have the entire city looking for you. I took a peek at your unfinished portrait, Alvanode. Now I've had many beautiful and striking pictures painted for me, but there was something about your work. It was as if you had caught the very essence of our love and rendered it naked upon the canvas. It was bold, unflinching, and I adored it. Please, you must come back with us and finish what you begun. I will speak to Lord Bertrand and vouch for your character. I'm sure we can smooth over any hard feelings. I'm sorry, Larry Chai, but there are more important matters to what I must attend. More important? What could be more than enjoying the days we have left with us to the fullest? Pray, press me no further. We are leaving. I would not presume to take the garments you were so kind to procure me for one moment. I won't hear of it. Keep the clothes, you silly boy. I insist. And I shall make arrangements so that you can pass through the gates without causing a stir. I expect you to come to visit. I will return, I promise you that. That wretched eyewitness must not go unanswered. The next time we meet, I shall be better prepared to confront the corruption which hides behind the glittering facade. Was not the joyous outcome I had hoped for. Our efforts have nevertheless answered a great many questions. Suffice it to say, our plans for saving the first, our unlikely involve the aid of Lord Berturi and his subjects. Come, we must speak to Izar to chart a new course. This is far from over. It's good to be back amongst friends, not to mention my dear sister. I have not seen her for some time, but I gather she is keen to press on with her plans as I am. You seem quite a lot for a person yourself. Now, more than enough to appreciate the skill as obstacles we face. Let's lay our discoveries before the hangings and discuss what must be done.
And so you return. Have you gained a better understanding of the crisis now faced by the First?
Better is not the word I would use. Some lands may have been spared the flood, but the survivors live only to suffer. There seems no end to the horrors inflicted by the Sin Eaters.
Indeed. Those abominations are a calamity in their own right. And I can well imagine how hopeless the task of eradicating them must seem to you. But after countless battles and untold sacrifice, we have identified a potential weakness. Sin Eaters are drawn to serve the strongest of their kind, a class of creature we call Light Wardens. And from what we have been able to ascertain, only a handful of these entities exist. Just as an ant colony will perish in the absence of its queen, we believe that the death of a Light Warden will cause the lesser creatures within its sphere of influence to disperse.
I have a feeling Yulmul might have something to say about any concerted action we take against these monsters. Vorthra's command over the Sin Eaters is integral to Yulmoran society. In seeming to guarantee his people's safety, it guarantees their obedience. He will not take kindly to us depriving him of such useful allies.
Agreed. Thus we will need to occupy or otherwise divert his forces whilst we proceed with the business of eliminating the Wardens. Until we have done so, all other considerations must be set aside if we are to forestall the 8th Umbral Calamity. Your uncertainty is understandable, given the circumstances. Perhaps a more detailed explanation is in order. To begin at the beginning, then. In the ancient past, a single star was divided into 14 worlds. This is the source, your home. These others are the 13 shards, in whose number we find the first. Though physically separate, they retain a connection to each other, and with the source especially. Now, let us assume that a given element in one of the shards attains abnormal ascendancy. Just as water will flow from the highest point to the lowest, the excess energy will begin trickling into the source. And such an influx of ether will of course exert a palpable influence. If the element in question were fire, then drought and wildfires might ensue. If it were ice, one might expect the weather to turn bitterly cold. As ether continues to pour in, such phenomena will become more and more extreme, until eventually, a single, untimely event triggers a disaster which cracks the barrier dividing the two worlds. What was once a trickle now becomes a deluge, sweeping the shard along to be rejoined with the source. At the same time, the element which held sway in the shard is unleashed in full, its energies amplifying the original disaster to truly catastrophic proportions. An earthquake thus magnified might strike with enough force to shatter continents. A tidal wave might swell to a size capable of drowning entire nations. These devastating events are what we refer to as umbral calamities. 7 times has a calamity befallen the source. 7 times has a shard been absorbed. At present, the light-drowned realm of the First stands perilously close to meeting the conditions for a rejoining. It is the Sin Eaters who are to blame for the Light's continued dominance. In addition to attracting their lesser kin, the Light Wardens I mentioned earlier radiate ether, saturating every corner of their territory with light. Even here in the flood-spared region of Norvrant, their influence is strong enough to banish night from the sky. Thus, if we are to restore balance to the First and head off a potential calamity, it is imperative that we put each and every Light Warden to the sword.
We've been doing our best to take the fight to the enemy ever since we first heard the Exarch's explanation.
Though we have yet to claim any meaningful victories if truth be told. Apart from being confoundingly elusive, the Light Wardens possess a troublesome quality which compelled us to delay our plans until such time as you arrived.
Forgive the interruption, my lord, but Hallminster Switch is requesting reinforcements. They say the Sin Eaters are attacking in force, and the village could soon be overrun.
Alert the guard. We should be prepared in case the fighting reaches the Crystarium. You have command of our forces in the field, Captain, but hold off on entering the town until I arrive. That goes for Alphino and Alize as well.
My lord.
Pray, lend us your strength. Such a fight will provide you with far greater insight than any explanation I could offer.
Hallminster Switch is in the north of Lakeland, so we must best make haste with all our preparations. In fact, meet me outside the castrium at the crossroads northwest of the ancestral gate. I shall lead you there myself. All set, we follow this road north. We will arrive at a northern staging point. The village of lies not far beyond. Quickly now. So 83 to the west. And we'll just continue on. What the hell was that sound? Holzer switches past these gates and through the woods. This is not exactly a near neighbor to the castrium, but as we occupy the same region, we have built up something of a cooperative relationship. What can we expect inside, Captain? The town is beset by a swarm unlike any we have seen in recent years. We did our best to evacuate the villagers, but as many as half remain. Judging by the number of eaters present, we have good reason to believe that the Light Warden leads the attack. How convenient. It seems we'll have our chance to slay a warden sooner than we expected. One does not simply slay a warden. Has no one told you what happens if you defeat one of those fiends? They hold more light inside them than all the other underlings put together. It can be struck down, but its essence won't dissipate like the weaker kind. Foul ether will blow outwards and develop the nearest living being, a reckless young swordswoman perhaps, and turn her into a brand new warden. Well, you can leave the particular quandary to us. I must ask that the guard stand down and allow us to engage this leader of eaters alone. Concentrate on the survivors. We must save every life we can. But what if... Understood, my lord. As captain of the guard, however, I will not watch you brave such danger without an escort from our ranks, and insist that I go with you. Very well, then our warden slaying party shall include myself, the love of yours, Captain Lena, and the last but not least, a formidable group indeed. Into Halsar we go. Once we reach the Light Warden, do not hold back. We strike to kill. Yeah, I kind of figured this was going to happen. Question then becomes, do I want to, 1, find a group, 2, do it with the NPCs, or 3, do other quests, or 4, get off? Decisions. Um... go turn in some quests then. Easy enough. really starting to get tired. um, a phoenix? probably get off after talking to you. If you lied, I'd do anything to unlock the next setting for them. I don't think it's gonna be very long though. I still find it funny how there's Monster Hunter stuff in this. Okay, I think gonna call it there. So have a good rest of your night, and